Today is Tuesday, July the 15th, 2014. Ontario Superior Court of Justice Family File FS/14/2625/00. This is part of the Mayoral Platform, and just to swiftly start off, I had an opportunity to observe the debate tonight between the candidates. I will say it was a more constructive debate. I was able to hear really some of the points that the residents were able to, that really are looking for answers on, with the exception of a few things. I think they got their points across. However, what we forget here is that the residents of the city whom have burdened and shouldered the burden, the taxpayers, as Rob Ford keeps alluding to, should really be considered in this and giving something back to them. I think with all the talk of spending and doing big things, what we should really understand, and as a city is this size, we should do our best to encourage people to spend. Now, that can't really be done without really giving something back to the residents. Mr. Ford had indicated that in his previous election platform that he would get rid of the land transfer tax. It would really be ridiculous to think that you could get rid of that much revenue from the city and not put it at risk, and to replacing it somehow with revenues equating to the same value to ensuring that the continuation of growth to services, and that budgets aren't cut, which is detrimental to seeing people losing their jobs and services being affected, which is something as a city, as we're growing, should be avoiding. I want to point out firstly that what we should be doing is, and I would be doing as mayor, is reducing the property tax cross-board for everyone up to 30%. However, maintaining the land transfer tax as it is, given the fact that it is generating revenues. What we will be doing in working with council is phasing it out over the next 2 years into the term. That way we are able to have the opportunity to generate other revenues to offset or any sort of effect or impact, because we need to really see and understand and study the impact of that much revenue being taken out of the budget. Moving forward, some of the subject matters that really touched up was really, something that I would say the residents of the city are looking more and more into. However, I think the major is the reduction of the burden of turning on to the residents. Over the last 35 years of raising taxes, where we should be now, given the fact that the city has a surplus, should be reducing the taxes on them. And I believe a 30% tax decrease in the first year, and just to see from there, we could then begin to start working on the land transfer tax in working with the province. The provincial budget that was just passed is a very big budget, and I think in working, the next administration should be working with the province moving forward. Now, all this talk of being fiscally responsible, I have not heard any candidate mention and what is necessary to avoiding any job losses and or department budgets being cut is two things. Is the city is sitting on quite a bit of equipment and fixed assets that itself can get rid of, that we're not using, and it makes no sense to buy equipment every year that's going to just be sitting there, or equipment that could be used in the interim that are still working to facilitate to the services we need moving forward. I heard Mr. Tory mention about managers within the city when the question was raised of what department would you cut budget from, should you be given the opportunity. And it concerned me because, again, yes, there are managers with 2 staff members. However, you have to consider that their role to those staff members and what they are doing in other departments, or their interaction with the other departments. What could be done in this case is perhaps having those managers move into other sections of the city to manage, given the fact that they have the experience and they are employees of the city. to not really affecting the unions and pissing them off or upsetting them moving forward. What I really believe should occur and should happen before the election is a full audit of the city. These are ways of finding any sort of revenues that perhaps has been sitting there, monies that have been sitting there, that could be used or directed to departments so that they could now properly purchase or provide or hire the staff necessary moving forward, in addition to finding any sort of discrepancies that may exist, that we could address them moving forward without impacting on staff. What I had stated in previous platforms of my videos was that removing the liabilities from within the police services, which is something that is essential for this city to grow. Given it's a multi-ethnic city, I strongly believe that ignorance and racism is a thing that should be something that should not be a part of a city administration, and strongly believe that if their boss, or in this case the police chief, cannot see this to act, then clearly it's something that the city needs to do as a whole, to removing any liabilities. Because again, the city being sued as much as it has been sued is something that we should really be considered and to be avoided moving forward, as clearly by removing the liabilities we could begin to promote from within for those officers who have been really working and doing their jobs according to the mandate, as well as to the Human Rights Code and the other acts. So by promoting them, and then begin to hire from communities across the GTA of various ethnicities to representing the city as a whole. So whatever culture or whatever sexual orientation, whatever religion, whatever background is not a problem. We just want people to understand their role within the city and governing the city, to ensuring that the residents are safe and protected, and them doing their jobs in accordance to why they were hired moving forward. I want to point out also, I had made reference to in one of my videos of a way of generating quite a bit of income, and it included toll booth. And why I had mentioned a toll booth would be to start to see the revenues in two places within the city, and I strongly believe on the Lake Shore, or the QEW before the Lake Shore exit, would be one perfect location. I want to state that most of the traffic that comes into the city every day is from the 905 area, and a lot of that traffic that comes in brings with it emissions, and the roads are damaged. And in fairness to the residents here, we must consider that they themselves are paying for it through their property taxes. None of the people that are coming in are contributing to repairing this. This is burden that's pushed onto the residents, and not fair. So essentially, they have been carrying the burden for those coming into the city and all this traffic. And part of congestion is another plan here. What we should be doing, instead of spending lots of money on building this relief line, should really sit down with the TTC, City Council, and the business community in creating an express train during the hours, something that we would be able to sit down and do some sort of feasibility study. That would be quick, just to find out how many people and the times that the most traffic is on the subway. So that way, from Shepherd, to Eglinton, the very busy stations could be then serviced, where people who want to take advantage or take part in getting to work quicker can go to these stations. And that's it. The train would stop at these four locations: Shepherd, along the route, Eglinton, Dundas, and then straight on to Union moving forward. So this is something to consider, as opposed to taking on expenditures and costs that really we can't at this time afford, but however, improving service. Another thing is, in easing with congestion within the city, is to observe the timing with the lights, to ensuring that we don't have lights within certain distance, short distance. no light should be in the city of Toronto within 50 meters of each other. Makes no sense. And knowing that emissions to start a car and to press on the pedal to start the car to move is going to burn more fuel, and with it create pollution, in addition to noise and so forth. These are the things that we should be considering moving forward. In addition, we should be utilizing the fact that we have so many roads in close proximity to each other. An example, between Dundas, King, and Queen Street, there's two-way traffic on each one of these streets. One of those streets, or two of those streets, can be one direction. So in this case, Dundas could roll traffic one direction, King Street could roll traffic in the other direction, Queen Street could run traffic both ways, and then emphasis be putting on the transit, so that streetcars are the mode of transportation that would be best suited for people wanting to get to and from, because then we're removing traffic and then giving one lane really for parking, so there would be more revenues generated from that. In addition, what I strongly would be pushing for is to incorporate a transponder system, and giving people the option to be able to park throughout the city with the transponder by purchasing this transponder. This is something we'd like to work in cooperation with the province and the Service Ontario to creating something similar to the 407. What would occur here is this transponder would be purchased. You would be able to park at any of the P parking throughout the city for whatever period of time, and designated parking spaces throughout the city by us painting the sidewalks, and the parking meter staff being able to just check if the transponder is approved and working. And this is something that could be purchased at the time of renewing your license and your stickers. And I believe this is a way of generating a lot of revenue, given the fact that there's not many cars on the road, and is something that would help to mitigate the effects of reducing the property tax, in a sense increasing revenue, which is something that could ensure to providing this promise of reducing the property tax by much as 30% in the first year, and the toll booth in itself, that was something that could be done and built within 2 years, to generating quite a bit of revenue, given the fact that on the lake shore, the amount of traffic that comes into the city each day along the QE, and again, the other heading west would be placed on the coming up to before the Yonge Street exit on the QE, and it's something that would generate quite a bit of revenue for the city moving forward. We should be working on building more bike lanes, which is something that I will be doing as part of my promise, given the fact that we are selling so many bikes. There are many bike shops throughout the city. I'd like to work with the bike businesses to especially Bix, to try to get their products into not necessarily into the stores, given the fact that space could be an issue, but having them being able to rent the bikes, and the bikes being delivered, and any other bikes that the bike shops might have, say, old inventory that they want to generate some revenues on, as opposed to throwing or having the bikes sit there not generating any income or revenues, and it's something that would benefit them. Part of my other plan is to support businesses, all businesses in the city. It was quite concerning. What was mentioned was the 27, I believe, Olivia Chow, and again, I don't know if this is confirmed or accurate, to have a 27% unemployment rate for youth is quite frightening, given the fact that there are many small businesses in the city, and really no youth should be unemployed ever. There should be jobs within the city of Toronto, Parks and Rec throughout the summer and winter. There should be jobs in retail, there should be jobs, restaurants, movie theaters, and emphasis on growing this city should be pushing for more tourism. And I've observed over the summer, thus far, we have been putting on quite a bit of show with all the programs, events, festivals, and things like this. And I think we should share this wealth. I believe those communities that have been shunned by really governments over the past, municipal government over the past while, the Jane and Finches, the Regent Parks, which are slowly changing, should be able to hold some of these festivals to drawing people into those communities, overlooking fear. I strongly believe that we should consider encouraging the province and the federal level for more projects to build community centers, libraries, and more areas of leisure, such as parks or playing sports fields in these communities, given the fact that many of these communities have single-parent households and homes, and these children and kids generally don't really have nothing much that's being there offered for them to do. So these are things that would add a positive image and be seen as such to help combat some of what the concerns are relevant to guns, because again, guns exist everywhere, and I think to try to just point out that it's in these communities and to further add more problems and fear on society is not doing anything positive. I honestly believe that there are proper ways of addressing to this. There's solutions to everything. It's just a matter of making the efforts to ensuring that whatever plan is in place and working with these communities in a positive way to seeing these changes occur. And these are some of the things that need to be done. And building up or beautifying these communities are part of the plan and part of the process in reducing these impacts that we're now coming to see and being utilized through the media to create fear. Lastly, I want to really touch on an issue that really is concerning to me. I know that maybe some people will take offense to it, but it's not to offend them. It's just to actually make their lives better. I've observed throughout the city at times seeing as many as 6 to 8 people standing over a pothole, fixing a pothole. And this is staff. Now, when you stand there and observe this, I mean, from the fact that the cost of paying that staff or that many staff to fix the one pothole is concerning. I believe strongly that we should be utilizing staff more effectively in these areas. I speak this because there are many seniors that have been paying property tax in addition to regular folks, families with children, single parents, or families, people or couples, and so forth, who utilize more services than the seniors. Most seniors just pay the taxes, and seniors would put aside feeding themselves, looking after themselves just to pay the taxes. So what we should be doing is utilizing some of this staff to going out and offering services to them, courtesy services to them, because they have also been impacted by the increase in taxes and never been considered by those administrations that have been forcing these burdens on them. And I believe we should be doing more for our seniors in the city by going out to their properties, ensuring that they're okay, fixing up what is necessary to be done. We have the staff and don't mind paying them to paint, upgrade some of this, minor repairs where necessary, and offering if they can afford to pay discounts on doing some of the work. To ensuring that they're safe in their property, and not just that they themselves could enjoy their property. We have to consider that, and this is something that is the constitution of this country, that many of these people making promises, or sorry, I shouldn't say people, many of the candidates that are making promises, some probably have sincere purpose of helping, but there are many that are just making the promises to try to fulfill the needs of those who already have, and we should consider those that don't have also. And this is something that we should be doing as a country, as a province, and as a municipality moving forward. So I end this in hoping that comes October 27th that you consider Donovan Searchwell as the next mayor of the City of Toronto. I will be registering come August, the first week. And from there, we'll be campaigning, and we'll be preparing, hopefully raising money I have tried and have started, but it appears that there are those that don't want me to be campaigning and have been blocking my posts and have not been responding to the campaigns that I've been trying to do to raise money. However, what I will be doing is asking residents to put up signs on their lawns, and as part of the plan of working with the restaurants and the businesses in the city, hoping that I would be able to give each resident that places the sign on their lawn a voucher equivalent to as much as $50 or between $25 and $50 to go out and purchase and or enjoy a meal and or to go out and see what the city has to offer, as part of showing you that I plan on working for you. I plan on doing my best for you to ensuring that we as a city grow and we as a city work together collectively. I will believe everyone's job should be safe. I believe that everyone should enjoy their work and not have to worry and fear. And I believe that the city is the most underrated as far as potential and is a gem ready to blow up and to become the biggest city in North America moving forward. And Billy Bishop Airport is the key issue. And I think that once the plan goes forward, and hopefully it does, that they could now consider that building a Toronto community housing building down that way would be something to consider moving forward. I believe that those that are complaining about the noise of the airport should really consider either the benefit to the city and as part of the building project be given equivalent space to what they do have, so that way the project could move forward and be bigger than what was planned, given the fact that this is a growing city and this project would help as far as tourism and every business in the city would benefit from which, given the fact that the goal is to improve upon some of our events, the Gay Pride being one, the Jazz Festival being the other, Caravana being the other, and the many other festivals that I hope to be working with corporate and other planners and ensuring that the city be rebranded, be given a whole new image moving forward to catching up to really where we should have been some 10 to 15 years ago. Give praise, give thanks. Good night.